So now we've seen how our classifier works in terms of classifying an article as a news article or an other article. But a great thing we would like to add is to be able to visualize the result and how we got to that result. So what I'm going to do is demonstrate this, but we're kind of more familiar with that Article 53. So I'm going to go back up here and encourage you to do the same as you're following along and change that back to Article 53. That's the one, and actually I'll remind us of the words in that particular article. So art of questioning. Again, remember we're taking out the non-alphanumeric characters and we parse this all nice and neat. So actually, we'll go ahead and run this all the way through to the result, just to recall what all of that was. Remember that news article was actually classified as a, or that other article was actually classified as a news article, again with this lopsided score of 0.4227 to 0.1. And here was the percent holder news, and here was the percent holder other. And let's see how we could visualize that. So let's just go for it. So what I'm going to do is change the relevant data here, the important words, the percent holder news and the percent holder other, into a data frame. So they're nice and organized. So I'll let you look through that. But at the end of the day, we're going to have the word art, questioning, jogger, defense, lawyers, fear, colleagues, and cross-examination, and its corresponding news score, which is the percent of news articles that had that word, and other score, the percent of other articles that had that word. So it's very, very telling and very interesting and very well organized data frame there. So then we're going to use some of the other functions that we've learned up until this point. Namely here, we're going to turn this wide data here into long data using gather. So I'm going to say, hey, let's look at article stats columns 2 and 3. That's the news score and the other score. And I'm going to gather, and I'm going to call it type and percent. And so type is going to be my key. That's going to hold news or other. And percent is going to be the key. So when I run that, I end up getting something that looks like that. So I've got type and I've got news score, just like we had here. I've got type is news score or other score, and then I've got my corresponding percent here. So kind of let me get to where we can see all that at once. But that's what we've done is we've taken this wide form and we've turned it into long form. The only thing that's missing here are the words. So I can have this complete data set. And so what I'd like to do is have a third column here that has the words. And we know that these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'd like to have these words from art to cross-examinations here. And then I'd like to repeat it. So I'd like to have the same words there. So I have news, and I have the percent, and I have the actual word that's associated with that right next to it. So let's do that. All I have to do is create a new column. So I'm going to mutate, and I'm going to call that column word, and I'm going to repeat all of the words. So article stats word, right? That's just the column. I'll just print that out so everybody can see it. That's just all the words, all 8 of them, but I'm going to repeat it twice, and that's it. And that should just list me all of the words here and then repeat it all the words there. So if I do that, then I will have, perfect. So I've got my type, my percent, and I've got word. And so I can say, oh, the news score for art was this, and the news score for questioning was that. And this again is in long form. So what am I going to do at that point is I'm going to use the pipe operator. So, and then I'm going to make a ggplot out of it. And I'm going to say, let's let the y be the continuous variable, the percent. Let's let x be the categorical variable. That'll be type. So I'll have 2 columns in this column chart. So notice I'm going to end up passing it off to a column chart. And I'm going to color code that just to make it look nice based on the word. So every word will have a different color. So cool. So play around with that. But at the end of the day, what you'll have is a plot that looks like this. And I just think this is really cool. This is a visually appealing plot. It clearly shows that news score is going to win because it's the highest. And it shows what words really played the biggest determination in deciding that. And notice the word jogger here is blue. Jogger is in a lot of the news articles, and jogger is not as many of the other articles. But of course, other ones, if you're concerned with a couple of words, so defense played a pretty good role. Notice that we saw even from here that colleagues and cross-examinations weren't found in either one. And remember, those are the ones that we took out the punctuation, or at least the alphanumeric characters, the apostrophe and the dash. So it's up to you. It's up to whoever's kind of designing this. Maybe we want to handle that a little bit differently if we think that those are going to be important words. But certainly it's very consistent as to why they're not showing up in here. So there's one other one that we want to look at, because this is kind of the overall. This is looking at the sum, but maybe we want to break it out by word. Maybe we want to look at how each word is compared. We can kind of compare them here, but let's say that we wanted to get kind of a different look. So that is another great instance of where we could use, notice all of this is the same, even all the way up to column. We're still creating the column chart, but this plus facet wrap tilde word is saying, hey, just do all of this for each word, break it out by word. And so, so if you were building like an RShiny app, or if you were just making a PowerPoint presentation, you might decide to add both of these just for talking points and to make it visually appealing. And it's got actually a lot of useful information in it. So what we can see here is a breakdown by word. So I've got art. Clearly, remember we saw there was like 4 in one and 1 in the other one, so it's kind of tough to compare there. But we can clearly see here that Jogger is what's dominating it in both. But we've got we have colleagues and cross examinations didn't have any. But we can see how side by side each word breaks down in terms of news score and other score. So that's just a couple of visualizations we can do very easily when we have tidy data and when after we've processed all this data, given the statistics that we've generated. So I hope you really enjoyed that, and great job. That is the classifier. That is the example rolled in with string manipulation, with transformations, with regular expressions, with obviously visualizations. So I had a great time. I hope you did too. I'll see you in the next one. Great job.